Winter lays over the world as the green of meadows and fields is sleeping under a blanket of snow, resting and preparing for a rebirth in spring. The tall firs in the dark forest wear sparkling dresses of white, silently and strong, guarding the mossy soft floor beneath. Today, I want to invite you to join me on a walk through the winter forest to do some forest witch magic with me. Listen to the spirit of the trees and craft 3 magical tools out of the wood of the sacred hazel, birch and elder tree. Forests have a deep, old and grounding magic, and each woodland has its own soul and spirit. The trees, sacred to the people that came before, offering home and shelter to animals, mushrooms, and magical healing plants. In the deep of winter, it might seem as if the forest is sleeping, but if you listen closely, you will hear the creaking of the trees in the frost as the ancient life force is flowing through them, connecting them to the pulsing heart of Mother Nature. Where I live, all the different woods, fields, streams and groves have their own unique name, lore and story to tell. An ancient story long forgotten, resonating only in its name, given centuries ago, and awakening a melancholical yearning for simpler times in any dreamy soul. The magic of the Upper Moon Hill is very different from the mysterious and dark energies of the murderous marsh. While the soft river, flowing through the darker ground, has a different type of magic to it than the old linden trees lining the holy mountain. I took you for many a spells to my favorite birch grove on a glass hill, back when the leaves on the trees were fresh and green, and you have done ritual with me between the green mossy ground of the Lady's Stone. Today I'm taking you to the Fuchsbrunnen, the Fox's Well. If you'd like to step into another enchanted woodland, you want to check out the wonderful forest witch Alwyn with who I am collaborating in this video. Over on her channel, she takes you through mossy green, finds fairy portals, crafts enchanted trinkets, and bewitches your ears with her beautiful music. But more on that later on. The culture in my area has heavily been influenced by Germanic and Celtic traditions and beliefs, and we still see it to this day, with different trees being used for certain purposes, traditions, or celebrations. As the Germanic people believed that in every tree and well lived the soul of a deceased one. While some trees were the living place or even the epiphany of a god or goddess, others were home to forest spirits. So it is not surprising that groves were places of worship, trees were believed to hold certain healing or protective powers, and that in some cases it would bring the wrath of the gods upon you to cut down a tree. While the world is covered in ice and snow, and forest offerings like flowers, berries and leaves are sleeping, we can focus on what is available to us at the moment to work some forest witch magic. Sacred trees and bare wood. As we walk along the edge of the woods, we will find the shrubs and smaller trees that in autumn provide nourishment for all the forest animals. Very common here are 2 of the most sacred trees, the hazel and the elder tree. The elder tree is said to be the living place of the goddess Hulda, in a Nordic pantheon referred to as Freya. In German, the tree is sometimes referred to as Frau Holle, suggesting it to be the goddess herself in shape of a tree. Today we are taking a small branch in order to make it into a magical fairy flute. A wonderful instrument if you work with forest spirits or do ancestral or forest witch magic. Many myths are spun around the elder, which used to be the sacred protection tree for families on which land it stands on. It is rumored that it is a portal to the otherworld or the fairy realm, and that if you sleep under it, you might be taken by the fae folk. The inside of the branches is very soft, filled with a marrow that makes a wonderful addition to your forest witch apothecary, as it is traditionally used for burning over charcoal in order to heal the soul, bring restful sleep, or to connect to the ancestors. If we remove this, we get a hollow cane in which we now can carve holes for airflow. As the wood is very soft, this can be done with a regular knife and doesn't require any specific tools. The elder tree carries very healthy berries and blossoms and was always known as a tree with great healing powers. It was considered to bring the worst luck or even death upon the one who would cut it down. Before taking anything from the tree, it is custom to ask for permission 3 times. If you'd like an in-depth tutorial on how to make this fairy flute, please let me know in the comments down below and I will show you how you can craft beautiful natural flutes out of any wood. They are a wonderful tool to invite spirit into your ritual, work forest witch magic, or even cleanse magical space. Another tree sacred to the Germanic people is the Hazel. Just as the elder, perceived as a living being with a soul, and called Frau Hazelin. It is the tree of energy, introspective and wisdom. The wood was traditionally used to craft divining rods to find subterranean water veins, metal or salts. It is said to be a wood that can find and direct energy very powerfully, making it the ideal tree for magic wands. But today I'm showing you a very old, traditional, magical protection charm that some of you might recognize if you grew up in a Bavarian household. Hazel twigs are placed in a house, nowadays as a decorative item, but back in the days it was done as a protection from thunderstorms and in general to protect the members of the household. Little parts of the wood would be taken to receive protection during long travels. The hazel tree is also part of many fertility rites, and women were touched with a hazel twig so its fertile life power would jump onto them. The tings, that is how the sites for court meetings of the Germanic tribes were called, were usually fenced with hazel branches to bring clarity and wisdom to the space. And also in Celtic beliefs we can read a lot of tales that connect the hazel tree with wisdom. So if you're looking for a decorative and insuspicious protection charm for your home, a nicely decorated hazel branch might just be your perfect bit of forest witch magic. Now, if you walk a bit further along the edges of the forest, we arrive at the birch grove. Those silver giants are the first to show some green in spring and the last to lose their leafage in winter. The tree of fertility and new beginnings. Its twigs to this day are traditionally used to bind besoms, to sweep not only dirt but also negative energies. The birch is another tree sacred to Perchta or Frigg, goddess of the forest. Growing in cold climate, this resilient tree offers a multitude of healing properties in its sap, leaves and bark. Nowadays, a birch tree is still used as a maypole during the May Day celebrations. Where I live, young men will also decorate and put a small birch tree called the Mayale in the garden of their sweetheart on the night of Beltane and will guard it until the morning from other suitors, symbolizing fertility and a wish for a prosperous year. In folk witchcraft, the besom is a traditional symbol and is said to be able to sweep out negative energies, take illness away from a person and bring in new positive energies. If you'd like to know more in detail, you can find more information in the video linked above. And with these 3 magical tools for spirit connection, protection and cleansing, We now leave the magical forest, as dusk is wrapping its grey veils around the tip of the tall spruces and brings in more snowflakes with a cold west wind blowing. But let's have a little peek into an enchanted forest in the south of England, where Alwyn, the forest witch and fairy queen, lives.
Hello, enchanted ones. My name is Alwyn Oak. This week, I invite you into the Enchanted Wood to show you a beautiful place. A place that is full of evergreen wonders. It is here that I gather inspiration in which I will transform my altar. At the moment, it is a bit of a mess. Using the power of the nature I gather, I will show you how to harness the energy to transform my altar and yours also, with simple DIYs and spells, to become a serene place for your light to shine through. I do hope you enjoy and look forward to seeing you there. The power of evergreens in winter is everlasting. All my love, Alwyn.
For her full video, please step onto your broom and fly over to her channel. I wish you a magical day. See you soon!